Our son is scheduled to attend Hebrew University for his junior semester abroad. He's departing in January for 6 months. We're concerned, very concerned, should we send him? For Israelis, life goes on, but he has to go on the sidewalk. Okay, very fair question. So do Israelis have to go on the sidewalk. Israelis also have to go on the sidewalk. But here's what I think about the Jews. That's what I think about every single one of us. I include myself and every single one of you. You got to decide what in life means more to you than life itself. We have always, as Jews, believed that there were such things. If there's nothing in the world that matters to you more than your staying alive or your child staying alive, what do you believe in? And if you don't believe in anything, that's why they're going to win. Because they do believe in things. It's sick. It's dysfunctional. And I don't want us to believe like that. We got to believe in something. Because whatever it is that we would die for, we'll also live for. I, like you, adore my children. I'll end with this story. I wasn't going to tell it, but I adore my children. I don't love them any less than you love your children. I'm probably no more than you love my children. Sometimes a little less, maybe. And I've sent them off to war. I didn't send them. They were taken. The army has a system. There's computers. So my daughter was a first-year law student. And it was Hanukkah. And we were at war. In Gaza, I forget if it was cast lead, cloud this, whatever it was. She's in her second year, 3 years of law school, a year at the court. So it was like 6 years ago, something like that, whatever it was. First year of law school is a hard year of school, as some of you know. And she was, like every other law student, working her tushy off to stay on top of things. She wasn't yet married. And she comes home one day, and she says, my commander called me from the army. And he said, this is completely off the record, but I just want you to know, you should know where your stuff is. So she said to me, what am I going to do if I get called up? They're not going to stop school. I'm going to miss a week. I'm going to be through. So I said, we'll handle it. Maybe you won't get called up. It's Hanukkah. My wife and I are literally putting the candles in the Chanukiot in front of the window, and she's called us earlier in the day to say that she's been called up. And she has to go to Gaza. Not like to a base. She's going to go to Gaza. And I said to my wife, when Tali gets home, we are going to have a massive meltdown on our hands. And my wife said to me, we'll handle it, which means you'll handle it. Tali's mine, she takes care of the other ones. We got a whole division of labor thing going on. She's a tiny little thing. She comes home, we're lighting candles, she's in a horrible mood. She goes up to the attic where she stores all her gear, the boots, the army uniform, the bag, all the stuff. And she comes down. And we filled the Chanukiah for her too. And we said the brachot, we said the first blessing and the second blessing, and then Hanerot Halalu, which we do. And she's under my arm, I got my arm around her, and she's crying. She's scared. She's going to Gaza. If you're not scared, you're stupid. So she's crying. And she's tiny, and so you can feel every rib move. And I held her. What are you going to do? And then we started to sing Ma'oz Tzur, which, bum, 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 bum. It's got a lot of stanzas. Most people don't sing all the stanzas because they can't wait for their aunt or grandmother to stop playing the piano. But in any event, there's a lot of stanzas, and this one's about the Romans, and there's one about the Greeks, and there's one about the Egyptians, there's one about the Persians. Each one, they were really, really bad, but at the end of the day, we got them. And then the last stanza, which was actually added later, says, Chasof zeroa kodshecha v'karev ketz ha'yeshua. Bear your mighty arm, your mighty holy arm, and bring closer the day of redemption. Ki archa lanu hayeshua ve'en ketz limei hara'a. Because salvation is taking too long to come, and there's no end to the evil. That's why Mao's Tzur matters. And we were singing it, and she speaks Hebrew as well as she speaks English. And I felt her whole body change. She stopped crying. And she stood up straight. And she stopped that little whimpering thing. And she sang, Ki archa lana hayeshua ve'en ketz limei hara'a, because it is taking far too long for redemption to come, and there's no end to the evil. And that's why she understood, to hell with law school. She clerked at the Supreme Court. It worked out okay. But it doesn't matter in law school. And you have to go to Gaza, because there's no end to the evil. And we finished singing Mao's Tzur, and it was a cold, wintry Jerusalem night, and she put on her green little coat that they give you, and she put on her backpack, and she gave us a hug, and she walked out the door, and she went to war. And if kids don't do that, we're not going to have a story to tell. So nobody's asking your kids to go to war, and nobody's asking your kids to go to Gaza, and nobody's asking your kids to do anything except not to run away from being Jewish. Don't let them win. Because we're right. Because we believe that people should be able to do whatever they want in their bedrooms without us butting our heads into it. And we believe that women should be able to be whatever they want to be. And women should be able to study whatever they want to study. And people of different faiths should be able to worship however they want to worship. And that the Jews deserve a state no less than the Poles and the Greeks and the Italians and the Russians and the Spanish and so on and so forth. I believe all those things. You believe all those things. And if you believe those things, we all have to band together and defend it with every single fiber of our being, putting our beliefs ahead of our safety. That is what has kept the Jewish people here for 4,000 years, and that is what will keep us here for the next 4,000 years. Thank you very much.